Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Faces of the Jewellery Quarter, and I'm in one of my favourite places. It's a cake shop. It's called the Cake Quarter. I'm here with Ina.
Hello.
How do you do? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, thanks for inviting us in.
Thanks for coming.
And also offering these cupcakes, which I'm trying to refrain from eating until later on. But yeah, the Cake Quarter, we're on Vice Street, aren't we? Number 47, so... 46?
46 Vice
Don't
Street.
get what's going on at 47.
I have no idea.
No, I'm sure it's a decent place, but it's not a cake place. Cake place is 46, and it's the opposite end of the clock. That's right, yeah. And yeah, so Ian, just tell us a little bit about the Cake Quarter. What is it all about? Obviously, the name kind of gives it away, but how would you best describe it?
Best way to describe it is just a very bespoke, sort of personalised cake experience.
Okay.
So we do everything from wedding cakes, birthday cakes, novelty cakes, cupcakes, so the whole sort of cake range, but it's very tailored towards you. So if there's anything in specific that you want, you come in for a consultation. We kind of work out sizes, flavours, any dietary requirements, because we do cater for pretty much everything at the moment, such as gluten-free, vegan and eggless as well.
Does that make your job a little bit harder and a bit of a pain in the backside?
Baking wise, yeah, because everything's sort of done. You don't just bake one batch now and just kind of divide it in tins. Everything's very, I've got this allergy, let's do this. So it makes it a little bit difficult, but we have some kids that come in that have got an egg allergy and have eczema and all sorts in their skin. So it's nice to provide a cake for these kids that don't normally get a cake. I'm
sure it's just as delicious by the time you finish with it. So
it definitely is.
And so you do all different types of cakes, but would you say sort of wedding cakes are your most prominent, or?
Wedding cakes definitely take over a lot of the summer season because it's peak wedding. So wedding cake predominantly, it does take over a lot of the time because of how time consuming they are and also how big they can get. So I'd say
And I suppose weddings, they're getting a bit more creative. I think a bit more alternative.
It's no more three-tier basic anymore.
Yeah. So what's kind of the latest things that you're having to do with the cakes? I mean, what are you finding that's kind of changing? Is it just?
I think they're becoming more centerpieces as opposed to just wedding cakes.
Right.
The flavour itself is just as important, but I think for now, the look of it is what's really kicking in. So we do cakes, for example, that have lit chandeliers in them, or we create a miniature sort of rooms, or there's heart cutouts or arches cutouts. There's so much that we do now, and we actually bring in the arts and craft side of it, and all the miniature sort of doll houses that you use, we bring in those into cakes now as well. So it's a lot more.
So you basically start with a blank sheet of paper, sit down with the person involved or the couple involved, and you talk about them, what they want, their themes, their colours,
what they're into, if they've got any hobbies. Because we also do split cakes as well, where it's half very traditional sort of white wedding cake, and the other half can be like comic cake, it can be a Marvel cake. So you kind of incorporate personalities and everything else.
Because the cutting of the cake is always pretty sort of traditional and one of the main points of the day. So obviously the wedding cake is pretty important. And you mentioned the kind of design and the look of the cake is just as important as the taste, if not more important. Was that sort of the main influence over the cake that's behind you that you actually made for your own wedding?
Predominantly, yes. I mean, we got married it was an old railway station. I think that's why we fell in love with it. And it got converted into an events hall. And there's beautiful sort of ticket office. And it's so grand and massive chandelier. And I was just like, this can be the cake cutting room. So we'll just create one from the chandelier down. And I think that's initially what built the height of the cake.
That's incredible. It wasn't because you were sort of feeding a small army?
No, we didn't have a small army at all.
What did you do with all of it?
Well, we kind of just dished it out to everybody in chunks.
Big, massive cake for each.
Well, there was just so much of it as well, so.
That is impressive. And obviously, there's some more photos around of some of the other sort of the cakes that you provide. So, and obviously, do people have to sort of phone up and book a consultation or anything like that?
They're more than welcome to walk in. Fridays and Saturdays are our busiest days, so we always say, just to be on the safe side, book a consultation just in case we've already got so many clients in that we can't see you there and then.
Another thing about the cakes is, have you got a particular cake that you've been particularly proud of or memorable, would you say, out of all the cakes you made, apart from your own?
Wedding cake?
Apart from your own. Is it because, I know it was for a particular occasion, or it was pretty thoughtful from the couple that asked you to do it? Or
I think we did one recently, actually. I think in June our friends got married, and it's always great when your friends get married and you're like, I'll do the wedding cake.
Yeah.
And that particular
you
wedding.
gave them a discount?
Well, I did it as a gift.
Oh, that's too good. They're a lucky couple.
Yeah, they were such good friends, and I think whenever you make such a special order, the cake becomes so much more, especially when it's for somebody you really care about.
Yeah. And you opened this place 4 years ago, that's right?
Yeah, almost 4 years ago now,
okay.
yes.
And you've not always been in cakes before that. I mean, you studied at quite a high level in, what was it, landscape?
Landscape architecture.
Yeah, okay. So,
Yeah.
and that you've decided to kick that into touch and make your
Push
own
it
kind of
aside.
landscape architecture out of
Yes.
tasty goodness.
Yes.
Which is pretty impressive. But so you've always been into design. I suppose that's where your love is.
Yeah, most definitely. It's a very important part, I think, and I think subconsciously you don't realise until everything that you do is all art based, and then you're like, oh, okay, let's follow that path.
So I'm sure you did it all the way through when you were a kid. Then you went to uni, did fine art.
Yeah. So college was fine art.
Right.
And then uni was just landscape architecture.
Yeah. So that's what's kind of inspired you throughout everything, and then obviously everybody loves cake.
Well,
so
you can't really go wrong with cake.
it kind of all
I
makes
think
sense.
between the design and the eating of it, I think everything combined is just it's the package.
And if people were going to check out some of your work and your maybe the gallery of the stuff that you do and learn a bit more about you, do they go to your website?
Yeah, so the website cakewater.co.uk, Instagram page, Facebook. We have a Twitter account as well, all under Cake Water. So it's the
Okay,
best way.
that'll all be on screen now. And do you have a phone number?
Yes, 0121 507 1645.
Okay, well, I recommend people obviously get in touch with Ina at the Cake Water. Have a look around this place. It's pretty impressive. It's very pretty, I must say. And obviously, I'm not going to suggest that Ina's going to provide free cupcakes for everybody who just walks in off the street, but I'm going to try those out. But I appreciate your time today.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Not a problem.
It's
Our
been
pleasure.
a pleasure.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, we'll see you next week.